and welcome back to my channel. I am wrapping up week 7 of my pinky rehab. Last week I got on the benchmark climbs I've been periodically checking in on the moon board, and it went okay. Initially I was actually pleasantly surprised how little pain I had while I was climbing on the board, but then my finger was definitely pretty inflamed in the following couple of days, and it made me realize I just don't have a great handle on this injury still, and that using pain as a guide on the wall is also just not going to be the best guide. So I've scheduled an appointment with another climbing PT for next week, and I think this is likely going to be my last hurrah of some harder climbing. I'm just going to get it out of my system because I'm sure I'm going to have to back down again in the coming weeks. So today I'm going to be getting on the climbs on the 30 that I was on a couple weeks ago to try and finish some of those off. So I'll get warmed up and I will see you there.
For my benchmark session, I started with some ladders just to see how they felt, and I was actually pleasantly surprised that I had no pain during them. So then I ramped things up a little bit more and got on some warm-up climbs, which again, I was pleasantly surprised I had no pain in my finger during these. I then hopped on my selected benchmark climbs that I've been periodically checking in on. I definitely didn't feel as strong as I had last year when I did these same climbs, but I was still happy with being able to day flash them. So I was happy to be able to day flash these benchmark climbs and that my finger felt okay during them. I didn't end up getting on my last benchmark, so here's a video from the last time I did it, and I'm reminiscing in the days where my pinky didn't hurt. I look so pain-free during this video. Oh well. On to this week's boulders. Like I said, this is kind of my last hurrah of climbing on some harder problems, so I decided to go back to the yellow tags I had worked on the 30 a few weeks ago. I started with this pink climb that I worked out the moves on towards the end of the last session on the 30, and I was happy to be able to make this link from the compressed position through the cramps and the jump. I actually forgot how to match the finishing hold, what position I was in, but I looked at my previous video and made note of that. So then I started trying from the start, and it took me a while to remember the knee bar position and the position to come out to this right hand hold. It was kind of interesting because it's been a while since I've actually really worked on a climb for multiple sessions, just since I have been mostly on the white tag level. So it was interesting coming back for a second session on something, and I think I just kind of forgotten a lot of the tactics that go into trying to send a climb that you've worked out the moves on. I just kind of didn't pay attention to micro beta and didn't really think about it before I first hopped on. So definitely a good reminder for the next time I go through an iteration of starting to ramp things back up. But luckily I was able to watch my previous videos, remember the subtleties. Next, I got back on this black climb, which has this crux move in the middle of kind of an aggressive shoulder move into the volume. I tried it from the start a couple of times and wasn't having any luck with that move, so I repeated it in isolation. And what I really noticed was actually the positioning to get into it. I then tried this coordination move on this pink boulder. Here's a compilation I made for Instagram, so I won't make you watch through all of the footage, but I tried a lot of different methods. It's just a really hard swing to hold and to create that tension with the foot stomp. But yeah, I tried it a lot of times. And then after that, I got back on this other black hold climb. I just wanted to try what was the crux move for me, which was this jump move out left. And I was actually really pleasantly surprised that I stuck it in isolation on my first try. What I think is the red point crux is actually this upper section. You get a pretty small bad crimp with your right hand. This left hand slippery crimp thing is really terrible, and you kind of have to just trust it and go for that final hold. So once I repeated it, I took a good rest. I really just wanted to link this jump move from the start. I figured if I stuck it, I would keep going. I was definitely pretty gassed by the end of the session, and I wasn't expecting to do the full boulder, but amazingly, I committed to that last jump move, was super psyched when I stuck it, and just needed a moment on the mat after.
Back home after my session, I got my ice going. Definitely was a great session. I wasn't expecting to do that last yellow tag at the end. On one hand, I'm psyched because I finally kind of feel like myself again on the wall, just with the strength and capacity coming back. But on the other hand, I know that I still don't have a full handle on the injury yet, and it's likely that I'm going to have to take a step back in the coming weeks. So the highs and lows of recovery and rehab in general, but I have an appointment to get a second opinion next week, and we'll just keep going forward. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.